When last we left our intrepid adventurers, we were in a dream in the past, in Croesus's dream, if Croesus is to be trusted.
In the past, in a dream about the further past.
Yes. Oh, yes, we're also further in the past in the second level dream. Yes.
And you had rescued a pixie in his dream or something?
Yes, but then it flew away.
Reginald Blue Pants, the king of the pixies.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, last adventure was spent mostly, well, I think not mostly, but a large chunk. No, I think it was mostly in the room where this is the name of the room where everyone fights each other for no reason.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. We're in a castle in the Chaos Rift, and there's this room where there were these two titans fighting each other, and their ambient fightiness was causing everyone in the room to fight each other for no reason. You got constant will attacks against you, and if you failed, you would attack the nearest person to you.
Croesus said that they're very popular down here in the Chaos Rift. Every place you go has one of these things.
Yeah. So we just managed to get through that. We were a little bit battered and bruised. My character, I was bloodied. I think some of the others were also pretty bad. And we get through into this next room, which is this beautiful, peaceful, wonderful garden with a little waterfall and a pond and trees, and oh, it's so nice. And there's this old man gardener off in a distance doing some gardening. And so we get in a room and we talk with Reginald Blue Pants, the pixie we rescued. And he's all like, "Thank you for rescuing me. I'm the king of the pixies. You have my eternal gratitude, but no actual help. I'm out of here." And so he flew off through a hole in the ceiling or whatever. And we were like, oh, well, okay. Job well done. And we're in a peaceful garden, so obviously we will have time to rest and recuperate. But first things first, we should roll initiative. Because, of course, the nice gardener off in the distance, he turns and sees us in his garden, and I can't remember exactly what he said. He was upset that we were in his garden.
I don't think he said anything at first, because the first thing that happened was all the vines popped up and grabbed everyone, and then he noticed the vines.
Oh, okay. I thought
he didn't even get to act in the surprise round.
I thought he sent the vines at us or something like that.
No, when the vines attacked you, he noticed, so he didn't actually get to act in the surprise round.
Yeah.
All these vines burst out of the ground and grabbed them with their thorniness.
And so he turns to us, and Tim is being dungeon master for this session, and he describes the guy. Says he has eyes that are actually pits made of fire, and he opens his mouth and he's got sharp teeth, and half the table misheard that as shark teeth, and so he ran with that. So he actually has shark teeth, and
also more horrific.
Yeah. So yeah, ambush vines, or an ambush vine pops up, and the way these things work is they're, what are they, controllers?
Yeah, but they can spend 10 of their own hit points, and they make a sprout, which is a vine that pops up and attacks you, and it's a minion. So the whole time they've been talking to Reginald Blue Pants, the ambush vine has just been making like a billion of these, and they can burrow, so they all just stealthed under the ground around the party and all popped up at once and got them.
So the minion vines, they grab you. They pop up from the ground, they grab you. And then the controller vine, it's got this area attack that does massive damage to anything that's grabbed. All these vines pop up.
They grabbed a couple people, I think Cricket and someone else.
Yeah.
And then they did their horrible attack and did a whole bunch of damage, and people were getting badly hurt.
Oh, yeah, we were badly hurt. Aurora notices that the gardener has a bag on his belt that is struggling. So she figures that the gardener has a pixie as well. She does some weird thing to teleport over there. Despite, I think she may have been grabbed at the time or not. Whatever, teleport gets you out of that sort of thing.
Yeah, the vines actually restrain you, so the only way out of that is a teleport or just getting out.
Yeah, so she teleports over there, and I'm just going to jump slightly ahead. Like the next round, Hank also teleports over there, thus leaving the bard and the wizard to melee grapple fight with billions of thorny, horrible vine monsters, while they go and beat up the gardener.
Well, especially because he ended up being like a leader controller.
He was an artillery.
Right, yeah.
So he's a super glass cannon. He's got no hit points or defenses.
Hank teleports over there and unloads like all of his best stuff on this guy, and it bloodies him in one hit down to like a quarter hit points. So it's just like this old gardener. He looks over,
At this point, we don't even know if he's technically bad. We just
know that he has fire eyes and shark teeth, and it's a chaos dungeon place. So.
And Aurora assumes he has a pixie. and
Right.
so therefore he's bad.
So what are you doing during this session?
He's like a co-pilot.
I was running the combat because Tim just isn't confident in running like all the
Okay.
all the rules and stuff. So Tim was basically in charge, but I was saying the I was
You were
doing
the
a lot.
AI.
Yeah, and I did a lot of the monster actions. Like Tim was like giving the general, like these guys are gonna do this and these guys are gonna do this. But I was the one who said, okay, this guy moves here and does this attack, and this guy moves here and does this attack.
Yeah, it was a bit of a tough fight for Serendipity, Van Goldstar, Moratopper, Tower Step, Soul Strike, Doom Delayer, and Cricket. It hurt.
Yeah, everyone was getting, actually, you could tell they were getting kind of scared because everyone was getting bloodied, and Hank was badly bloodied, and Tim was suggesting people start using their action points. It was actually looking pretty dire there at one point. Then it quickly turned around.
Yeah, I wouldn't say dire, but Cricket actually went to 0 hit points and fell down. And also, at this point, I've now used over half of my healing surges, which is a rare thing. It's rare that we use any healing surges, but I've gone through half of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went down to 0 hit points. And how did I come back online? I think it was Aurora did a healing thing.
It was you didn't come back online until the end of the combat. That was part
No,
of
I went to 0 hit points twice.
Oh, okay.
So the first time I went to 0 hit points, I got knocked down.
Yeah, that would have been after they killed the gardener. So the gardener, Aurora blinded him and pulled him behind a tree, so he couldn't see anything and didn't know where he was. But he knew where Aurora was because she was right next to him. So he used some sort of fire thing on her, this horrible fire blast, and just completely missed because he was blind.
But set the tree on fire. And he had been like yelling about how we don't appreciate his garden or we don't understand his art or something like that. And so we made him torch his garden.
That's right. And then Hank finally finished him off, and he fell down. And he's like, "At least I got to die looking at my beautiful garden." Oh wait, no, I'm blinded.
Yeah, and
I don't think all he ever did was that fire attack that missed. He just got totally destroyed.
Yeah, we pounced on him and smashed him to pieces. Meanwhile, Serendipity, Van Goldstar, Moratopper, Tower Step, Soul Strike, Doom Delayer, and Cricket are keeping the vines busy by being torn apart by them.
And they just keep popping up, and they're like, we got to kill this mother vine because it just keeps making more of these minions.
I did a fair bit. Like I used some Shout of Triumph to take out a bunch of vines, and then later on, Serendipity, Van Goldstar, Moratopper, Tower Step, Soul Strike, Doom Delayer used scintillating strands or something like that.
It was great. Cricket was taken out by a huge burst of a whole bunch attacked at once, and they took Cricket out. And then Serendipity, it was mainly just because of where it was optimal to cast the spell from, but she stepped over Cricket's fallen body and went berserk with his scintillating strand. Destroyed all the minion vines that were there in just one blast. That was what really turned the combat around.
Yeah.
And then after
I like to imagine that she was like, no, my valued possession. But really, it was just the optimal place to fire that off from happened to be right over that.
And then right after that, everyone was like, hey, we got to kill the mother vine instead of just constantly killing its minions. Aurora and Hank, they devised this thing where, because Hank can teleport, but Aurora readied an action.
Melees something, he can teleport to that ally or something and join in and stuff.
They devised some strategy where he got a free hit, and then Aurora teleported over, and they all teleported to the mother vine using some complex strategy, and then they just started. They wailed on that thing and then killed it right away.
And then let's see. I know Cricket got taken his 0 hit points twice. How did she get back up the first time if everyone had run off?
I don't remember that she went down twice.
I'm quite sure she went down. Maybe it was the second coming of the vines. No, because that was a total wash.
Yeah, it was earlier in the combat.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the second time she went down was the time that the mother vine got killed while she was down. So Aurora came over and healed Cricket, and everyone was just starting to dust
off a little bit.
And then 8 more vines popped out like them all at once, and they all attacked Serendipity because she had been so good at killing them all. And there was 8 vines, and there was miss. There was a hit that took her to 3 hit points, and then miss. And the hit that took her to 3 hit points let her trigger an attack that attacked the thing that attacked her, and it did like 5 hit points of damage to every enemy that was adjacent to an ally, which was every single one of the minion vines. So they all just missed. One of them hit her and hurt her, and then they all just she destroyed them all.
Yeah.
And that was when there was actually 2 mother vines. One of them was hiding and had been spawning minions the whole combat as fast as it could, while the other one was fighting them.
So
and that was when it crawled away and hid.
Yeah. Well, it was hiding before. It just decided not to come out.
Yeah.
It's like, So it was actually a very good strategy, because it was a hidden one that was spending all its hit points making these minions.
Yeah, because it was past bloodied. It had like bloodied itself just by spawning minions. And spawning minions is a minor action, so it could do 3 a round if it does nothing else, right?
Yeah.
So
we won the combat, but man, we were ripped to shreds.
Yeah.
So we spend some more healing and we get back up a little bit. And then we've got this pixie that we rescued from the gardener. Turns out Aurora was right, there was a pixie in the bag. So we pull this pixie out of the bag, and it's actually quite comical. He's got this huge black metal crown bolted to his head. And it's too heavy for him to fly or even walk around. He just sort of is like a bobblehead or something that flops over, dragging his head around as he tries to move. And he's all whimpering and pathetic and stuff. And he claims that he's the king of the pixies. Now, we already rescued Sir Reginald Bluepants, king of the pixies or whatever.
Right.
So,
I'm trying to remember this guy's name, but anyway,
it doesn't matter.
Croesus was talking about how it was so sad how they had to how he ended up dying or whatever, because
turns out there's like this room that most of the pixies are kept captive in, and the evil chaos creatures, being evil, decided to lock the room in an evil way. They're like, yes, we need an evil lock on this evil room. So they had a lock that the key is powered by life force. And so what they would do is the crown is the key, and it's locked on this pixie's head. So I got like spikes burrowed into his head or something. And using it to open the lock will kill the pixie. It sucks all his life force out. And so anytime they need to go into this room, they just slap this thing on a new pixie and go and open the room. And so we were like, it sucks. Let's get this thing off of him. And apparently what happened last time is within the real world is he like volunteered to sacrifice his life to help save the pixies or whatever. And so they actually used him to open the lock. And we're like, no, that's screw this. We'll take the key off him and then we'll figure out some other way of doing this. We're much bigger than pixies. Maybe we have more life energy, so we can use this key and it won't kill us. It'll just hurt. And so we examine this key crown thing, and what will need to be done is first a really tough Arcana check to unlock it from his head, and then immediately in the same round a very tough heal check to keep it from killing him in the process. And so we sort of pool our resources and look at what we got. Aurora's got that predict the next 3 rolls you're going to make thing. And I've got this thing where I can roll 3 d20s, take the best result, and give it to someone else.
Right.
So I roll my 3 d20s, and one of them is a 20. So I've got a crit that I can give to someone. Nice. And we check around the table, and none of us are trained in heal. But I've got the highest heal score.
Okay.
11. It's not great.
That's not great.
No, it's not great. So, but I can't use my 20 on myself. I have to give it to an ally.
Ooh.
So, okay, we'll have Serendipity, Ben Goldstar, Mora, Toppler, Tower, Shepherd, Soul, Strides for Time, Doom Delayer, do the Arcana check, because she's best at Arcana, and she'll crit at that, and it'll be awesome. And then I will try the heal check. And so we have Aurora do the predict your next 3 things, and we also come up with some things Cricket could do with her first 2 rolls if they turn out to suck.
Right.
Turns out her first roll is going to be the best. It's a 15. Serendipity, Ben Goldstar, Mora, Toppler, Tower, Shepherd, Soul, Strides for Time, Doom Delayer, does her awesome Arcana thing and blips that thing off. And because she critically succeeded, she is able to avoid the thing that happens is it tries to latch onto her immediately. This thing is like that. And since she critically succeeded, there's no problem with that. It was going to be like a reflex attack or something like that. But she's like totally knows what's going to happen. So now she's got this key and it's like struggling to try and grab onto something. She's like, all right, let's do your heal check. And my 15 is not enough. And so he dies.
Aww.
Yes. I mean, he was going to die anyway. It was certain death versus highly likely death.
Right.
And so we're like, okay, we'll try
Let's
to
roll on highly likely.
Yeah, we'll try highly likely. Yeah, and it turns out I would have had to have basically critted in order to succeed as well.
It was a hard heal, and no one had heal, and no one was trained.
Yeah. I think if I critted, I would have just barely made it or something, but...
We also realized Cricket gave a bonus to other people's...
Yeah, it would have been better for someone else to
It would have
try.
been better for someone with a high Arcana to make the Arcana check, and then put the 20 against someone's heal, but we just didn't do that at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that even would have succeeded.
Well, probably whoever got the crown off would have had it latch onto them.
Well, that might be necessary anyway, because they basically
I have
figured...
a plan. I didn't propose it to the other players, but so this is like a preview. I'm gonna suggest, hey, let's just go grab a gremlin and jam this thing on the gremlin. Everyone hates the gremlins,
Hank
really,
will be all
really
over
bad.
Right, Hank?
Yeah.
All you need to do is mention that to Hank, and
Yeah.
it'll just happen.
Yeah, and in case we need to open some other doors, let's grab a couple other gremlins and keep them in reserve.
Yeah, because
Bag of gremlins.
Yeah.
that makes you good. Killing the gremlins with the horrible key. That's the difference between the good characters and the bad.
Yeah.
The good characters,
Kill evil people.
Yeah, the good characters murder evil people.
Yeah.
And the bad characters murder good people.
Evil people put
And
this
neutral
horrible
people.
soul-sucking key thing on pixie heads, and good people put it on gremlin heads. It's totally different. Yeah. So yeah, that was around the end of the session, was after we tried and failed to save this pixie. So next session I'll start with that suggestion. I know Hank will be all over it, and Aurora's going to go, oh, and think it's horrible.
But she'll be wrong.
Yeah. It's funny, when we did the interviews afterwards, Robert had this plan in mind. He was going to have Hank do this horrible pun that was like really insensitive.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked me to have Cricket jump in after he said that to, respond.
Hey there.
And he was expecting Cricket to be like, that's horrible, that's awful, don't say that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, Cricket being Cricket was sort of reluctantly, hesitantly said, very, very hilarious, sir. Good
jibe.
Good one, sir.
I need a Cricket for my jokes.
So we had to redo that interview with Aurora jumping in instead to say how horrible that was, because Cricket can't point out that. I know that Cricket successfully Guardians countered, and that was, I think, one of the things that... No, it didn't take her down to 0, but it took her to almost 0. So that is that story.
It was just really sad how little Caius Beetle Britches volunteered to give his life so we could set his people free. And we all cried a little when that happened. This time it's different. This time he died when they ripped it off of his head, and I guess that's sad too.
Oh dear, we just killed the king. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I feel terrible. I'm glad this is just a dream. Croesus, can we wake up now? This is a sad dream.
That sprite has a really dorky hat.
Good one, sir.
Hank, that was horrible. He just died. How could you?
Oh, he died? What? You guys didn't? You guys killed him? Oh, now I feel bad. Never mind.
I thought it was good, sir.
Oh, wow. That was really hard. Oh, Cricket, are you okay? Wah! Whoa! Wah! Oh, oh, well, I guess that takes care of that. So, about this sprite.